over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've had the opportunity to meet farmers from all across the state of Tennessee, from the Mississippi River, Lake County, Lauderdale County, all the way to Johnson City and Jonesboro in that area. And to many of those farmers, the number one issue is the uncertainty of labor. I think it's extremely important to work this issue out. The H-2A program is not working. It is just not working, and we need to look for viable alternatives. We need a balanced reform bill. We need fair and workable farm labor provisions, and we need to ensure that we have an adequate supply of farm labor, and I think that's the fear of most of our farmers, that we will not have. I think the success of Tennessee agriculture and U.S. agriculture is dependent on getting this worked out, and certainly to have labor available to work with the farm families in Tennessee and across the nation to supply our food. Today's consumers want locally grown foods. Labor reform helps make sure that we grow that food in this country, and we believe American food grown on American soil is the best option. We certainly support border security, but we believe that part of border security is to enable labor to come across the border in a legal, verifiable, whatever way to get here, and we think that that is an alternative to border security. That is part of the border security solution.
In my opinion, as a farmer and someone that really understands the importance of immigrant labor in food production in this country, the right thing is for Congress, especially our U.S. House. Our Senate has already passed a bill that a lot of people are criticizing, but it's a comprehensive bill, and the right thing is for our U.S. House to come up with a bill that they can conference with the Senate version and work out their differences and try to solve this issue of all of these illegal immigrants that are in the shadows, and I think they can work out a situation where they can give them some type of legal status to work in this country.
You know, there's a lot of, Tennessee has unemployment problems. A lot of places in the country do. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who feel like, this doesn't make sense to be bringing in immigrant laborers when we've got people who are out of work in this country. I mean, how do you respond to that?
Well, it's a different kind of work, and I don't know if you've had an opportunity to work on a farm and do that. I love that kind of work because I like to be in the outdoors. It's extremely difficult work. It's hard work, and our farmers need a dependable workforce. And the immigrant labor, the immigrants will work hard. They will do the work. They're glad to get the work. They're well paid, and I don't think the domestic labor situation will be there when farmers need them. I'll give you an example of a strawberry farmer, for example, hired some local people to pick his strawberries, and within 18 minutes of the time they started picking, they come and said they wanted to be paid, that they just couldn't do that kind of work. So that's the situation farmers run into.
Well, obviously it hasn't always been that way in this country. I mean, you grew up doing hard farm labor probably. A lot of people did. I mean, is this just over the last couple generations, Americans have just lost touch with rural roots, or what? What's the problem here?
Well, I don't really have the answer to that problem. I just don't think that domestic labor as a whole will do the farm type labor and in the hot sun and so forth. And I'm not sure what the problem is. I have grandkids that I think sometimes are spoiled, and of course I encourage them to get a good education and to work hard and try to get a good job because they might not make it down on the farm, really.